Hi, I'm Spenta, sitting by my gardens today next to my borage. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am happy to have you here and glad to have you visit me. Your subscriptions are greatly appreciated, so take a moment to hit that subscribe button and check out my content, and leave a comment, hit that like button after any video that you check out so I know that it's you, and I will definitely get back with you in a timely manner. And I appreciate your time. A big shout out to my channel members, and thank you so much, my super chatters and my subscribers, my family and friends, for following me on my journey. Today I'm sharing my lovely borage plant, and borage is a medicinal, amazing plant. Borage is great to grow. I highly recommend it, not just because it's medicinal and delicious and tastes like cucumber and attracts all the bees, but because it's a super plant, and I'll discuss how. It is used for fever, it's used to treat fever, cough, and depression, anxiety, help with sleep, and it's also used for a hormone deficiency, insufficiency, also helps with sweating, also helps you sleep better at night. So keep this in mind with borage. Borage is toxic to kitties, so cats will not go near borage, just to let you know. Dogs and cats, they're very smart. They will not go near plants that they know that is not good for them. Honestly, they're very awesome and smart. I've seen this on them. Borage is lovely because it grows in any kind of soil, right? From seed, just from seed. It's a self-seeding annual. And I'm Persian, by the way, so it's the Persian people's favorite herb, or at least one of the favorite herbs. It's called golgav zaban. Golgav zaban. So we all say golgav zaban. If you're stressed, have some golgav zaban tea. So if you have any stress, drink some of this tea, right? And the tea is great. You can use all parts of this plant to make tea or fresh salad, or use it in a soup. You can chop it up and use it as garnish. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. As you see the flowers, it's also known as starflower. I see why, because the flowers, once they open up, as you can see some of the blooms, they look just like a star, a blue star, so beautiful, a violet star, such a gorgeous color. And it tastes like cucumber, so it tastes amazing. And it repels pests like hornworms, and gardeners, landscapers do not like hornworms. So it gets rid of that, which is nice, because everything you plant around it will thrive and do well, do better. I planted tomatoes and squash and zucchini, and I've planted ginger, and let's see, there's hollyhock and black-eyed Susan. There's a tree, 2 trees near it, a pomegranate near this section, and there is also iris all over, and there's this beautiful tree, my Lady Banks rose. And so far borage is growing wild and everywhere. So this means that it's a self-seeding annual indeed, that I have checked into this. So into my climate, at least, I live in USDA zone 7. If you live in USDA zone 9, or if you live in a tropical climate, you don't have to worry much about this kind of stuff. It's just going to be fine, because everything grows in a tropical area. I have the slightest clue, since the weather is just right and it's always humid. Plants love humidity. They just love humidity. That's the right amount of water for them. Talking about watering, borage doesn't need to be overwatered, yet it can be drought tolerant, so it's such a great plant. If you are in drought, it's best to cut the tops off. That allows the bottom to grow more leaves and more flowers from the bottom, so it doesn't become top heavy and break. It can become too heavy if you trim the leaves at the bottom and it flowers up top. It can become too heavy and break in heavy winds. It is very sturdy. It's awesome. It attracts so many pollinators like bees, so it allows all my other plants to grow better, and I have more produce. So more produce this year due to hollyhock flowered, the black-eyed Susan flowered, and the borage flowered. These are all special plants that bring in pollinators, and I am just now planting all of them in my gardens, and I see that they do an amazing job of that, of bringing in pollinators. Also, let's discuss a little bit about how to make the tea. I make the tea by using 2 cups of boiled water, and so you use 2 cups of boiled water. You could use a kettle, and you could use a teapot and put 1/4 of a cup of borage flowers and borage leaves that's freshly cut into your container, and into your, if you're using a teapot, to put it in your teapot, 1/4 cup of borage leaves and borage flowers along with 2 cups of boiled water. Let it sit down for a few minutes, about 10 minutes. After it sits about 10 minutes, then you can you can enjoy this amazing tea. It's best for evening time. However, I can tell you that I have drink it throughout the day, and it's just delicious. It's so aromatic. It smells and tastes like cucumber, fresh. It tastes different, dry, and it's so expensive. It's $9 for a small amount of this. So one plant here is $9. So I have so many plants right now. I can count over 1, 2, 4, 5. There are a dozen, 12 right here in this section. So I counted 12 in this section. That's nice. That's a good number, a dozen. That's great. I like my plants by a dozen. It just magically did that. That's good. That's good. Borage flowers and leaves, they're used for fever, cough, and depression, and sleep, and to increase urine flow. It helps with your inflammation of your lungs. It's a sedative. It promotes sweating, helps with sleep, helps with anxiety. It's so sweet, and it's used in savory recipes. It can be eaten raw, as I mentioned, in salads or mixed green salads, which I enjoy every day. I eat a fresh salad every day. I love that. That's part of my daily diet. I enjoy it, and every day I put a different flower or a different herb in it, and it just tastes different. So it's just delicious. I have amazing gardens. I'm so thankful. Mother Earth is good to me. That the planet has been good, and it can be chopped into yogurts. You can use a Greek yogurt and chop it into yogurt. It tastes delicious because it would be like having cucumber yogurts, like tzatziki. It's very good. You could put it in stews or in your meals, or use it as garnish. My favorite way to eat this is in my meals or in my tea. That's how I like it, or just fresh off, just right off the garden. And it all parts of it have they contain medicinal properties. The flowers are the most commonly used part, as I mentioned. I'm Persian, and the flowers are sold for not just one plant's flowers are about $9, $9 to $10 last I checked a few years ago, and it's wow expensive. So I'm happy that I can grow it here. This is kind of like my saffron. I grow saffron too. I love growing Persian items. I'm from a tropical area, so I'm used to that. I'm born there, so I'm still used to that. Even though it was negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit here last year and negative 18 the year before that, I thought that was cold. Oh my gosh, it was colder. It was more cold. So don't count it till you see it, right? So starflower, known as borage, is so beautiful and amazing. I love the color. It is often used as medicinal remedy for humans. The oil can be used, the flowers most used, and as I mentioned, the oil from the seeds are used to create herbal remedies. So they use the oils of the seeds. Look, the seeds are even used up. That's pretty nice. And it brings in so many bees. As a matter of fact, I've known farmers who want to grow hollyhock or borage in their farms, and they just plant it just to grow, because it attracts so many butterflies and bees and birds. It attracts so many birds, many birds. And not only this, once it dries up, let's say you have a frost that comes and zaps a plant, you can use it and make a fertilizer compost with that, an organic fertilizer compost, which is what I have. And so that's what you could use. So don't throw your plants away if they're dry. Use the dry parts. I have some dried peas over here that I will be using. The dry parts for the dry parts I will be using for my compost, so I don't let them go bad. Plants are great. As I mentioned, this plant is medicinal. I have tomatoes, I have some squash, zucchini around it. It's doing great. The hollyhock's doing great. It's a great companion with cabbage and strawberries. As I mentioned, it mentions this flowers. This flowers is in June and July. Months of June and July is when it flowers, and it's so amazing, beautiful, aromatic, cucumber tasty, and it likes about 6.5, a pH of 6.5. However, my pH is about 7, so see, it's doing very well, but it likes it a little bit slightly acidic, as I mentioned. So you can add organic matter to your dirt, to your soil, which is what I have. My soil is organic matter, so that's pretty nice that my soil is actually healthy for my plants, and I know it is something that's organic, something that I put on my plants. It's not pesticide or anything that was growing randomly. Let's see. The tea is my favorite. When I was Persian, I remember everybody liked tea the most. So the tea is my favorite. Once again, the recipe for it is 2 cups of boiled water to a 1/4 cup of fresh borage flowers and borage leaves. You can. I have eaten it with butter. If you would like, I can tell you how to do that. You can just chop it really fine and cook it in a little bit of butter and just sear it, saute it, and just season it with salt and pepper for taste, and just enjoy it like that. It's really delicious. It's so pretty, as I mentioned. It's like starflower, beautiful color. Don't forget to pinch the tips of the young plants, because that'll let your plants become compact and bushy in the bottom. So snip the top and dry it. If you're not using it at the moment, just dry your plants. And make sure to deadhead the blooms as soon as they wilt. Otherwise, the plant will actually go to seed, and what will happen? The blooming will end early. You see what happens? You need to trim your plants. So don't be afraid to trim it, eat it. It'll grow more. So that's the nice thing about borage. And creeping borage is a short perennial that's suitable for USDA zones 5. As I mentioned, my borage is an annual. It has a pale blue, violet bloom, and it is going to be ending in near autumn. However, June and July are its best times, June and July for me, because I live in USDA zone 7. And it's my favorite. I think you've seen many pollinators join us today on our share. So I thank you for being here with me today. And I thank our pollinators for visiting us. I thank my friends. I thank you, my new visitor, my subscribers, my channel members. I thank you for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed my share with the borage and my lovely gardens right around it, all perennial. And the borage is a self-seeding annual, just like a few other plants I have. Hollyhock, borage, and morning glory for me are all plants that are self-seeding, and they're amazing, and they come back each year in the same spot, and they come back in double the amount. So that's a good thing. I love that about flowers, and I love that about plants, and I love that about herbs. I'm Spenta, and I thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, happy gardening, friend.